Hi everyone, I'm Dina and you're watching Diparticle TV.
Hi guys, today I'm talking to the Loudest Silence from Bosnia and Herzegovina. Hi Jamal.
Hi, nice to be here.
Hi, we decided to talk in English despite the fact we could talk in Croatian, but also Bosnian is the same language for us. I mean, seriously. But we decided to do so because they have a big fan base outside Bosnia. So I hope that is okay with you guys too. For the beginning, I have a question about your background, your beginnings, if that's okay.
My background?
Yes, this background. Today I have another
actually...
background too. It's so sterile and boring. I'm sorry about it, but I'm in a different location, so I needed to adjust. No, about your music background, Jamal. Please be serious.
Oh, okay.
This is a serious interview we are conducting here. So
it's a serious interview. Okay.
Yes.
Well, first of all, it's not a problem to speak in English because I think that most of our fans, even from Bosnia, can understand this. It's not any nuclear physics that we're talking about.
Yeah.
And it's easier for you. You don't have to translate everything then. But as for the background, well, yeah, I'm the bass player of the Loudest Silence, and I don't know. I also give most of the interviews. Most of our members are not so comfortable, or let me put it this way: they have better things to do,
Okay.
like writing music, writing lyrics, producing, mixing. So since I'm finished with my tracks, I can go and talk to journalists like yourself. But the Loudest Silence, yeah, the band was formed in Sarajevo by Daniel and Taida, who actually came from Serbia to study here. And but this is like the place where the band really evolved because they had many changes in the lineup. But then when they found Mirza, our guitar player, he was actually supposed to mix their first demo.
Yeah.
And he did. And the story of the beginning was actually quite funny because it was just the two of them at one point, and they got invited to play the Sarajevo Metal Fest back in, I think it was 2013, like almost 10 years ago.
Okay.
And Daniel and Tate actually wanted to cancel because they had no members. And Mirza was like, you know what? Don't cancel it yet. Maybe we can get guys to play. And he was like, I'm going to play the guitar and I'm going to invite Jamal to play bass. And he invited me and I was like, wait a minute, how long do we have to prepare? And we had, I think, a bit more than 2 months. And I haven't played bass before that for 14 years. So it was really funny. Okay. But I was in the rehearsal room with Mirza at first and then met the band. But we kind of glued together, and our first drummer then, Samir, who also joined like a month before that gig, it was really great. And we played a pretty cool show. I think it's still somewhere on YouTube to be heard.
Okay.
And because that show was really great, we decided to stay as a band in that lineup. And we started working on that first album, Aesthetic Illusion, which is out for a couple of years now already. But in that time, with preparing the record, we actually had to split with Samir, and we found a different drummer. And then we joined that Wacken Metal Battle,
okay,
which we won. We were very happy to do.
You are now answering all of my questions, but okay, go for it.
Sorry, that's the background. So it's just that, we that's it. Formed in Sarajevo.
Okay,
and,
now it's over. No, that's it. It's okay. You can ask me.
Yeah, come on, ask your question.
No, I wanted to ask about Wacken later, but I will now ask you about the album you mentioned. It was released in 2018, right?
Yeah.
Okay, yes. How was the process of working on the album? Tell us more about it.
It was a very, very heavy labor because the songs were ready pretty early. We Daniel and Taida very much knew what they want to do with it. Mirza and I, we obviously had some impact on the sound and on the arrangement of those songs, but the recording took us ages because we really wanted to have real drums on it.
Mhm.
So we booked one studio for the drums, recording the drums in a very professional studio in like the national television studio.
Okay.
We did that. We had so many guests on the album. We have like real violins, real flutes playing on there, and we even have Mark Jansen from Epica singing on it, which I'll probably talk a bit more into detail later. But
Okay.
just the tracking of everything, and we did it in 3 different studios. It was a really long process,
Okay.
and then we had concerts in between, and it was really hard. And in the end, we did not have anybody to really do the outside of the band to do the mixing. So we did it
Okay.
ourselves. Mirza did it. We had Audio in Function, Nesho, who did the mastering.
Mhm.
So at this point, now after all these years, we're not so happy with the sound, but we are still very proud of that record because it's still out there and it's still being listened to on all platforms.
Okay, great. How was the feedback? I think it was amazing, as far as I
Yeah.
can see from here,
Yeah,
in my position.
the feedback on the album was great, really great. I don't actually remember if we ever got any bad reviews.
Mhm.
The only thing that was criticized at times was actually the sound.
Mhm.
And but that was it's like every album is like somewhere in time, and
Yeah.
at that time that was the best we could do, and it is what it is. So now we're having the different goals.
Okay, great. Here is the album, guys. We can see it.
Yeah, this is the digipack that was released. It's actually quite fancy. It's and there's also a booklet in there. By the way, we still have some of those that are signed by the complete band. There's
Okay, great.
booklet in there with all the lyrics and this magnificent photo by Maja Topčagić, who is a great photographer in Bosnia. And obviously there are sealed ones, but not many left, to be honest. It was really, really cool. They were available on Nuclear Blast, Napalm Records, and almost in Japan, which was really amazing. So yeah, the album was received very well. We're also very proud of the guests, especially Mark Jansen. And not just because he's Mark Jansen. The great thing about his guest performance was when I asked him if he would contribute, he was like, there are 2 things that have to happen. First of all, he has to like the song and he has to like the way it sounds. And obviously he liked the song and he likes also the way it sounds. So that's why we are so proud of it.
Great, amazing. Also, guys,
Yeah.
We made some changes with the audio. Maybe you can hear us better now. Hope you do. Okay, we will continue now with the questions. Tell me about Wacken. You mentioned it earlier. Now you can tell me more. How was that experience?
Yeah.
What do you remember the most?
Probably the period before the show, because I mean, we played. I mean, each of us, we had bands also before. We played countless shows, and the Loudest Silence, we played shows. We played also these metal battles where it's not just about, you know, your performance, but you're also competing in a way, which is weird because you don't really compete with other bands. You're friends, right? By the way, Croatia was disqualified at that time. Maybe that's the reason why we won. But I don't want to go into detail about why.
Okay.
But we actually won and we got to play the Wacken show. And one of the biggest troubles was how to get there, because we needed to rent a van. It's a huge drive from Sarajevo to Wacken, and we didn't have money to fly. And so we actually got together everything that we could, and we went and drove up there. It took us like 2 days.
Oh my God.
And yeah, the whole experience, how they greet you as a band is amazing. They don't care if you're a tiny band from Bosnia or if you're like the huge stars. You get treated equally, and that was really nice. Vaken really is the Holy Land, but that excitement before the show, because it's really that much bigger than anything else where we played, it was just amazing. And I will never forget one thing. There are obviously drum techs and guitar techs from the Vaken, and they see all the other bands, right? I mean, and they see them every year. And when we were getting off the stage, I asked the drum tech, so were we that bad? And he told me, like, completely sincere, he was like, there are no bad bands. And that's actually really true. If a band decides to play music that they love, they can't be bad. It's music. It's band. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's really cool.
And you're all colleagues and friends, like you said before. So
yeah, absolutely.
That's great to hear. Talking about distance, you're a long distance band. You're in a long distance relationship, members from the band. So
yes, we are.
How do you work? Is it hard? Is it difficult?
It's hard to say, to be honest, because it's the way the songs are being composed and the way we exchange ideas is the same. I mean, okay. we would send the files anyway.
Okay.
And now it's just that, you know, the distance is a bit longer.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, we can't have our rehearsals the way we used to, and that's something that I personally miss a lot, because I enjoy playing with friends. I love that energy and that vibe that's in the room. That's the only thing that I miss. But the long distance, and obviously I miss my friends, you know, we would go to gigs together and to bars, but for a band to function, it's not a problem at all.
Okay, that's great to hear. So, you're not the first one who's telling me that. These days, a lot of bands work in that way, so yeah.
Yeah, it's almost like some people are also more comfortable sharing their ideas, you know, through an email or speaking their mind through an email than, you know, in contact. It's not a big secret. We have also some introverts or in the band, which is also fine. I'm obviously not the one. But,
that's why he's giving me the interview, by the way.
But you know, it's I'm a very social person. That's the only thing that I miss. But for the band to really function, it's not a problem. It might be hard when we start talking about gigs.
Yeah.
Because you know, everybody's schedule, and we're not students anymore. Let me put it that way.
Yeah.
So it's
like
that's the only.
Okay.
Yeah.
Tell me more about the idea of covering Nirvana. Recently, you released a cover of Nirvana's Heart-Shaped Box. Tell me more about that.
Well, actually, the whole road trip, or how we got to this song is funny, because the Loudest Silence, before we even joined, Mirza and I, they were always playing cover songs. I remember seeing them live performing Cradle of Filth with guest vocalists and covers like that. But when we joined as the Loudest Silence, we were so concentrated on that first album and on those performances that we never even considered covering anything.
Okay.
And then obviously COVID hit.
Okay.
The pandemic, and everybody was in the lockdown, and Mirza, our guitarist, he actually started this Corona sessions, like many musicians out there, but he started it locally.
Okay.
And he was inviting people from Croatia, from Serbia, from Bosnia, you know, from everywhere in the region to play with him. And it was always his ideas and songs that he wanted to play. I was there. I play on a couple of songs, the bass guitar, and we were also. I was also doing the visuals. on YouTube, the
Okay.
whatever you see here. And obviously, we were always also asking Daniel and Taida if they would, participate in those Corona sessions. And funnily enough, they were always saying, well, if we participate, it's not a Corona session anymore. It's like the whole band.
Mm-hmm.
So that's not it. So they really were like, no, we don't want to do it. And we're like, yeah, that's kind of true. It would, I mean, if it's the four of us, then it's basically the whole band. So let's not do it. And we were talking about, like, in the future, what kind of songs we would like to cover. And there are many ideas. But then Mirza, as one of his projects, he was like, what about Heart Shake Box? And Taida is a huge Nirvana fan. She's a huge, not just Nirvana, but Kurt Cobain fan, as far as I know. And Daniel also likes Nirvana. I'm not a fan at all of Nirvana per se, but I'm a huge fan of this version that we recorded, because it's for me it's much deeper than the original. But don't kill me, don't kill me for saying that. But I really enjoy how we arranged that song and how it's played and how it came out. So it's cool. And the reason why we decided to do it is not just because we wanted to have a great cover. It's to show that the band is still alive.
Okay.
And that we are actually at the moment working on new songs.
Okay. Tell me more about that. That's another question. Perfect timing.
This is the guitar is not here for show. It's I'm actually getting ready for the studio. Some of my tracks are missing on a couple of songs, but we are getting really close to finishing 2 more songs. And at the moment, we are not thinking of collecting it in an album and putting a CD out. We are more thinking of the idea of releasing a song by song, really digitally first. It's not yet like set in stone, but that's what we're talking about. And I think that the next song, which is going to be the loudest song, the Silence song, might come out maybe even in May or June. And I can tell you also one thing: it's going to be different than what you heard before.
Okay, that's great to hear. We will wait patiently. Can we expect any more videos from you guys?
As I just mentioned, we want to go, song by song. We did 2 videos for the record, and those were like real videos, even though it was all do it by yourself. We did have professional help from our friends. We have an actual director who directed us, an actual camera guy who is a professional camera guy. But it was all, with 0 budget. This one for Nirvana is basically the same Corona session style, like everybody recorded themselves at home. But but that's for the cover. For the next real our songs, we're gonna do it more serious. But I think for the next song, which is pretty much ready, that song, it will be probably a lyric video. And after that, maybe we're gonna go really with videos. It's not that easy. Then the distance coming in, because we need all to be in one place if we want to do it properly. But there will be stuff coming out. Great.
Do you have any plans regarding concerts and festivals this year or the year after?
This year, not really, to be quite honest, because the pandemic situation did not allow us to plan ahead, because nobody knew what's going to happen, especially because we have passports that are not part of the EU. We never knew how the travel arrangements are going to be. So we don't have any plans at the moment for that. What we want to do is work on the new songs and actually come up with that, because we do have demos of like 5 or 6 songs. And as mentioned before, they are quite different than what we have on the first album.
You are telling me this for the second time, so it's different. What can you reveal about it? What's different about it? It's you're speaking about genre, or you're speaking about some elements, or what?
Well, we never considered ourselves the typical symphonic metal band.
Okay.
You know, we were never like Nightwish or Within Temptation or you name it. You know, definitely not like Visions of Atlantis or even Epica.
Okay.
We always wanted to do. We consider ourselves like more of an atmospheric symphonic metal band.
Okay.
And
that allows you
new
to experiment
songs-
a little. So,
yes, yes. So from my point of view, it doesn't have to be like that. But from my point of view, the new songs are darker, and I don't know. There's even more melancholy in it, and I don't know. It's a definition thing. I'm reminded of, I don't know, some post black metal stuff in it, but that's just me.
Okay.
But I think it's especially the first song that you're gonna hear. It's gonna be heavier than anything we've done before.
Okay. Great. Okay, that's nice to hear. I must ask, just in short, keep it short. Tell us something about the collaboration with Terion. Your vocalist had a collaboration on 3 songs. She was a guest vocalist, so that's enormous. And congrats, by the way, to her and to you, because that's an accomplishment for all of you.
It actually came as a surprise to all of us when Taita called us up and was like, you know what, I got contacted by Therion, and I think there is some private contact that she knows somebody from those guys. But what I am personally very proud of is that obviously Therion and Christopher Johansson, I think his name is, and I'm sorry if if I made a mistake. I think I'm very proud that he obviously heard our album.
Yes, that's why I'm talking about accomplishments,
Yeah.
you know?
So he heard our album, he heard Taita's voice, and I even think she was supposed to be a guest only on 1 song, but the way she performed and how she did that, it actually turned out to be 3. So on that, Leviathan is the name of the album, the last Therion album, and we are all very proud of her. I mean, it's huge. It's a huge thing, and I hope she gets invited again. I know that it's she lives for that. She lives to sing, and she's obviously good enough to feature on Therion. So I hope she does a lot more of that stuff. And by the way, I can add one more thing. She recorded the vocals at home, and Daniel engineered all of it. And that's the way it also ended up on the album. So it was also great work by Danielle. So
great.
Really, really happy and proud of them.
Great. Jamal, if you have any other thoughts you want to share with your fans and the public in general, go for it before we end the interview.
Yeah, well, first of all, thank you for sticking with us. I know it's been a long time since we showed anything that we're doing. We are still there. It's slow, I know, but it's the way it is. But I think that the new songs, when they come out, it will be worth the wait. At least I hope so.
Okay.
And yeah, and obviously thank you to you, Dina, and to, how do you pronounce that? DIP or Diparticle? or DNP?
It's like, it's Diparticle. Diparticle.
Diparticle.
Okay.
It's
all together. So, yes.
All together. So thank you guys also for reaching out to us, for showing interest. It means a lot. And yeah, I hope the next time we talk, it's going to be about a bunch of new songs.
Yes. We will do a follow-up interview for sure.
Cool.
Okay. Thank you, Jamal. We'll be seeing each other soon enough, I hope. Thank you guys for watching. Hit subscribe and follow our work. Stay tuned.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.